Well, hello everyone. Today I want to talk to you about adulting. And I know a lot of people are really into Myers-Briggs personality types, and you might be looking at your Myers-Briggs and hitting a bump in the road, which is why I did my purpose videos on different types. So check those out. The purpose videos were not, I didn't do them to offend anyone. I did it because as an ENFJ, sometimes I need a little more. It helps me when there's an area that, not that I can be challenged in, but I know that there are areas of my personality that I struggle with. And so if I can hear some truths concerning my MBTI type, it could help me go to the next level. It's like with the Enneagram, there's a huge range. Sometimes you can delve into the unhealthy aspect of your personality. So the reason why I wanted to do a video on adulting and MBTI is because there might be an aspect of your personality that you're struggling with and you don't know why, and you think there's something wrong or you don't really know how to correct it. And I'm just here to validate you because it could be that you're simply adulting. And adulting is hard. Adulting, what does that mean? Okay, so it's defined as the practice of behaving in a way characteristic of a responsible adult, especially the accomplishment of mundane but necessary tasks. So many times we think, gosh, life is so hard, but it's part of adulting. So the first time I heard this adulting term was in 2019, and it makes me wonder if adulting is a millennial term. Maybe it's been around longer than that, but that's the first time that I've ever heard of it. Well, how has social media influenced adulting? I think Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, etc. have all impacted adulting and made it so much harder. It's an extra thing to do, all of those things. It's an extra layer to life that's draining. Facebook, I think, was originally created to help introverts communicate with friends to take away pressures of socializing. But all of these things gives everyone more to do, more to keep up with, more interactions that you have to figure in time to do something about, or that take away from other things that you would be doing. So many people report feeling depressed because they see the luxuries that others have, they see the life that other people are living, they're exposed to what they don't have, and it leaves them wanting for more and feeling badly for the things that they do have. So it just adds a layer of psychological stress and pressure and anxiety, and it's just hard. So why is adulting now a term? I mean, when you think back to your parents or your parents' parents and how hard they worked. I rarely heard my parents complain about work. It's interesting because now everyone or most people complain about work and how hard it is. Or what about people back in the day where everyone had to farm, or there were no washing machines, or you had to gather your own food? So we have built a life of conveniences, but some of those conveniences also give you an extra thing to do. People were freer decades ago from some of the psychological pressures that we deal with today. So I just think there's a psychological layer that has helped to create or coin the term adulting. I was talking to one of my cousins and he was like, my parents were very routine in their way of life. They went to church on Sunday, they went to work during the week, they came home, they cooked dinner. You did those routines and that was it. Now it's like so much more. It's like the social media has created more of, there are thousands of invites, everybody wants to have their own party. Everybody wants to have their own get together. It's just thing upon thing upon thing. So I think bottom line, adulting is hard. Even if you don't take in, that's one layer, but the other part is it's just hard. Like life is tough, in my opinion. If you have a house, it's gonna break down. You're gonna have to do repairs. You're gonna have to fix things. I know with me, I just had to replace what did I replace? My kitchen faucet, because it had been dripping, and and then we put in the new faucet and that didn't work, so we had to take it out and then go back and get a new one. I mean, it's just, you feel like you already don't have enough time. I also had a couple of tiles in the kitchen to pop up, so just figuring out, okay, how to fix that, where's the money coming from, like everything costs money. That's a stressful part of adulting. Car repairs, just being able to have a reliable vehicle, or if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, like I gotta have a car that's so, whatever, this standard or whatever it is, that makes adulting hard also. But the mundane is really taxing, I think, for me and for everybody else. When I think of my morning routine, when I think of my nightly routine, I mean, it's so redundant and mundane. And I just wonder if anyone else feels that way too. Like there's so many steps to getting ready in the morning, plus getting breakfast, or if you're packing a lunch, or just the whole everything that you have to do to get out of the house, and everything you have to do before you go to bed. And it's mundane, it's boring, it's exhausting, it's tedious, and yet you have to do it. And I think we find that draining. And I don't know if that's being a little spoiled, because back in the day, I don't know, it just seems like people didn't complain about it as much, but just all the responsibilities. And then if you're having financial issues, you can't, a lot of people are struggling financially. It's rent has gone up. I mean, just so many things. Groceries. Think about, golly, fast food is so much more expensive than it used to be. So trying to figure out how to survive, how to fit in fun, how to keep up socially, work responsibilities. Somebody was telling me that, because I live in America, but someone was telling me that people in other countries are like, you guys in America work way too hard. Like, that's all you do. We are workaholics sometimes. I think we work way too much. So just finding that space of downtime, of I'm not doing anything, I'm relaxing, I think is so crucial and critical. But how do you find it? How do you find it? So it's just, cooking dinner. Do you go get, do you go get something, or do you cook, or what? Just the whole thing. Which MBTI types do you think have the most difficulty with adulting? Right now, what's popping in my head are SJs, and it's not just them, but I'm thinking of some conversations that I was having with an ESTJ and an ISFJ. The ESTJ was like, oh my gosh, my entire house is falling apart. My oven doesn't work. I have piles of laundry, but my washer and dryer are not working, so I have to go to the laundromat, and just all the chaos. I have things that I want to sell on eBay, but I can't figure out what to throw away, what to keep. And she was like, gosh, being an adult is so hard. And the ISFJ just kind of stood back like, my life is amazing. She didn't say that, but I could just read it in her face, like, I'm not having that trouble. Like, I've got all my routines down packed. Everything is just in order. With my husband and my kids, we just have it together kind of look, like I'm at a place of peace. So sometimes anxiety or things that we're going through can spill into adulting. So there might be some things that we just have to stop and get in control. But I can also think of an ISFJ who's really struggling with financial issues. And she's like, everybody I know is having just this awful financial period in life where it's hard to pay for everything. It's hard to figure out, do I get a second job so that I can catch up with things? So it just, I would think that SJs, because they are very rule oriented, and maybe those rules are what kind of get in the way. It's kind of like, okay, this is how things should be done, but maybe they just, when things are not going smoothly, it stomps them and it makes it really difficult for them. I know with being an ENFJ, for me, adulting can be hard because sometimes the mundane can get on my nerves, like doing the same routine. And I know I'm a J, so I get very J-like. Like I try to handle everything in the moment. I try not to let anything get totally out of control. However, that gets exhausting sometimes. So what helps me is sometimes just doing things differently, like not following the same exact, if I can, like maybe I don't normally listen to music, but just sit in a different place in my house and listen to music just to break up that monotony. And I think it can help if you have some flexibility in your temperament, like the SPs, like ISTPs or ESFPs. But I also know ESFPs who are totally overwhelmed all the time with all of the responsibilities that they have. And they are responsible people, so they can't just not do them. And I also am thinking of INTJs and ENTJs who have really burned themselves out. So they almost have gotten to a point where, they're tired of the redundancy of whether it's, hey, I do this for my family or family gatherings and this and that, and they just don't want to do it anymore because adulting is very hard. It's tough to keep up with. I think this year we should all make a goal to be more centered, figure out an area that we're going to be centered in, and also be grateful. Remember to be appreciative and thankful for the things that we have, but also we need a break. So if you struggle with adulting in some area, then let us know in the comment section what area you find just like that right now is really troublesome for you. So I think the solution is you have to find some me time and some relaxation time. I just recommended for somebody that was having a lot of stresses in their bodies, which a lot of people are also experiencing a lot more, to come home and the first 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, turn on a YouTube video with the ocean waves, with beautiful scenery, the sound of ocean, and just close your eyes because you want to teach your body to relax again. So comment below about your adulting struggles. Like the video if you would like to see more videos like this one. And remember to subscribe so that you can check out everything that I'm doing on my channel, which is a channel for mental health and personality disorders and also MBTi. So thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye.